Ni hao, everybody. Hello and welcome to my great glorious channel where cryptids and mysteries and supernatural beings, stories, encounters, where fact meets fiction, where every video of it comes to life. I'm your host, Cryptidmasterkd, the wise shaman who's treating your lycanthropy problem. And in today's episode, I'd like to welcome you all to episode 2 of the top 5 Bigfoot species from around the world. And today, for today's Bigfoot, we traveled to the ancient and one of the most oldest civilization lands in the world. We traveled to the east, to China, where locals claim that outside the Great Wall, in a remote forest region of a place called Muyu National Park, is said to be home to a monster. The locals, a creature that has been told about for over 2,000 years. The people of China call it Yeren, which in English means the wild man of the woods. It is described mostly like this. Yes, it's a species of Bigfoot. The Yeren, or the wild man of China, is described as being 6 to 7 feet tall, or 7 to 8 feet tall, and is described as, in a word, monkey-like. It has long arms. It walks upright on 2 muscular legs, and its body is very muscular. Its face is said to be ape-like. And one thing that sets it apart is its unique color. Its fur is described as orange to gold to white. And it's said that the Yeren dwells within the forest. But first, let's go insane for a minute. Sorry, I ate too many mushrooms. Anyway, reports of the Yeren go way back to the 5th century. So just like here in the North American Bigfoot reports, these creatures have been told about for thousands of years. The first known document of the creatures was written in the 5th century by the poet Hu Yang, who ruled a province in, I think, eastern China. He wrote stories, you see, about giant ogre-like creatures, of giant mountain ogres, who looked monkey-like, and walked on 2 legs. A couple centuries later, another scholar known as Yuan Mei wrote about what he called the monkey men. While the species has eluded, like Bigfoot, eluded scientists for decades, proof has been found that there is something out there. We have we have people who have found footprints. Some even say they found bones. Although they don't exactly belong to the creature, they do belong to an ancient ancestor, which I will bring up in a minute. The first story I'm going to tell you took place and was an encounter that happened in 2007, November 18th. A young man named Dong Wang, he and his family were taking a road trip down a remote road next to Mu Yu, the park, where allegedly, get this, is a very vast nature reserve that is, and mostly has been dubbed the land of the Yeren, the land of the wild man. Anyway, Dang Wang and his family, like, were having a great time talking and stuff as they drove down this road. And Dong Wang was in the back trying to get some rest. And as they got deeper on the road, he was startled by excitement that was coming from the driver and the front passengers. And according to him, what they began saying when they saw this thing crossing the road, they all started screaming, "Yeren! Yeren!" And they all looked up at the front part of the car, the front window. And crossing the road on two legs were two creatures, two Yeren. Both of them, one was about 8 feet tall and muscular. The other one was said to be smaller, about 7 feet tall. So obviously, people, they were seeing here was obviously a male and a female. Because, like I described here, the Yerens, the wild men they saw, one was bigger, one was a tiny bit shorter. And I don't think it was a mom and a baby. What I think they saw here, everyone, was possibly a male and a female. So, it's not Yeren anymore, people. It's not Yeren anymore. It's Yerens. So this indicates, like other primates and other supposed Bigfoot encounters, is these things seem to be hanging like primates. Like primates, which they're said to be a species of, is they hang out in family groups. This is a very interesting topic. And we need to pause here and we need to point out that while the Yeren is indeed a cryptid, how does it connect with Bigfoot? We'll discuss that in a minute here. But story 2 is about an eyewitness. That had his encounter in 1994, almost 3 decades ago. And now his story takes place almost in the same region, which is next to the national park. Okay? So, Yuan was going on a walk through the park. He was hiking and then sat upon a hill. And he and some friends who were with him at the time, I think. It's hard to remember the full story here. But according to him, he sat down and looked up on this one nearby hillside. And he saw this thing, according to him, laying down, sleeping. And he said he has no idea what it was. Okay? He doesn't know what it was. He didn't see it clearly at first. Now keep in mind at this point, many of you are going to put in the comments now that it could have been anything. It could have been a monkey. It could have been a panda, which are very rarely seen nowadays. But they were once a cryptid too. And pretty much, you have to understand, everyone, that just like all the other eyewitnesses who see Bigfoot, they know what the wildlife is out here. They've lived here for generations. They know the land. They know it. Even though this part of China is pretty much unpopulated and well put and preserved. And also, I should mention, it's built outside the Great Wall. Which brings up a tiny bit of conspiracy here. I need to watch my wording on that because I don't want to get hit with the old YouTube demonetized and whatnot. But it makes you think these Yeren creatures are rarely seen inside the Great Wall, but they're mostly seen outside on because the nature preserve where their territory is outside the Great Wall. Which makes you ponder for a minute, what was the Great Wall really built for? Creepy, eh? Anyway, my apologies for changing the subject, but I had to point that out. Anyway, Yuan saw this creature, and it was sleeping. And so he started making noise to try and wake it up. And then it just laid there still and just stared at him. And he described it as huge, monkey-like, muscular creature with red fur. Almost red as a red panda's. Or Master Shifu, as I should put it. Anyway, as they started watching each other, the creature finally got up, and on two legs, like a man, no like jolting or anything like that, or weird monkey, walk. It walked away like a human on two legs in a perfect stride, almost 3 or 4 strides. And it walked away. And that's pretty much what happened in his encounter. And others like Yuan, even Dr. Jeff Meldrum, who is a scientist in university. He's been known for around the world for studying Bigfoots, and he even went on an expedition in 2010, to find the Yeren. And an archaeologist local showed him a cast of feet prints. And he pretty much showed him these footprints and bones, of all things, that supposedly belonged to the creature. However, these bones were identified as something ancient. But the question is, people, we're going to put that aside, all that aside now, for some cryptid history facts. What exactly are people seeing? Now, your first thought of how all these eyewitnesses are describing the creature, it sounds like an orangutan, right? It does. Here's the problem with that. Although it is a vast, unexplored territory, according to all archaeological evidence and many scientists, orangutans supposedly really did. They died out, went extinct in China centuries ago. Now, we need to, now that that's out of the way, here's what most scientists and cryptozoologists, like myself included, there is a theory of where that this creature, the Yeren and Bigfoot, could have a common ancestry. Now, how is that, am I saying that? Well, let's go way back about 300,000 years ago. 300,000 years ago. You see, back then, there was indeed a primate-like creature that did live in China. No, it wasn't an orangutan, but it did share a link with them. This creature is what many cryptozoologists have come to believe is possibly an ancestor of Bigfoot. It was called Gigantopithecus blacki, or as some modern people put it, the real King Kong. Now these gentle giants, they're no myth. At standing about 10 feet tall, weighing 1,200 pounds. Oh wait, 1,020, 1,200 pounds. This creature roamed the forest of Asia and other parts of the East for thousands of years. It was a giant ape. It was a giant creature. In the early 2000s, a huge museum made a presentation about the creature. The first fossil evidence of this came from when an explorer went to a Chinese, I think he was an archaeologist. Yeah, he was an archaeologist. Been a slip in the tongue there. I commonly do that when I'm nervous. A bit camera shy. Not gonna lie. Anyway. This archaeologist visited a Chinese medicine shop. And they showed him he came across these giant teeth that after further analysis belonged to a giant primate. And that was the first discovery of Gigantopithecus. Now, where does this all tie into the Yeren? Well, although this creature did not walk upright, but it was massive in size. It should be noted here that these creatures may have been the ancestors of Sasquatch. And here's how I think many of us cryptozoologists think it happened. It went a little more like this. According to scholars and most archaeological evidence, and about during the time of, I think, 100,000 years ago, during the time of the Ice Age, there was a huge land bridge that connected in between Asia, Europe, and North America. And then there's actually proof of this. And animals from both Asia and other parts of the world, like mammoths, rhinos, and humans, crossed that land bridge into North America. Now, this is where we think Sasquatch may have came from. And possibly the Yeren is some ancestral descendant or a subspecies. It is theorized that maybe a small group of Gigantopithecus may have migrated to North America on the land bridge, and maybe a few stayed in hiding for a while, and stayed hidden from the rest of the world. And those in North America may have, shortened in size and developed intelligence, developed the ability to walk on two legs, and developed many attributes, and became what we now know as the modern Sasquatch. And possibly in China, they became the Yeren. With all this aside, I'll leave you all to think about this theory and think it makes sense. And if it does, leave so in the comments, okay? Anyway, we're going to wrap up this video because I'm trying to get 10-minute videos out. But anyway, it's time to wrap up this video. But before we go, I would like a cryptid favor of all of you. Please like, favorite, subscribe, and leave a comment down below of what you think of this particular Yeren creature. Share with your friends this video and help the channel grow. And don't worry, this weekend I'll be doing another live stream so you all can talk with me. And Cryptid Mom is going to be there too. Maybe Peaches, the baby Wampus cat, will be there too. Anyway, all that aside, I love you all. More videos are coming soon. Let me know what you think of all this. And peace out. Bye.